Yes, internet coach. Remember, if you want to participate, email the show, FloTrack Podcast at gmail.com. FloTrack Podcast at gmail.com. Subject line, internet coach. We got one here from Jason. All right, I'm going to read this email for you. It's from
This
Jason.
isn't your friend Jason, is it?
No, not my
Okay,
friend Jason. There's more than one Jason out there in the world.
just
This
making sure.
Jason is turning 50 in December. Turning 50 in December.
Oh,
He's training for
congratulations.
the 100. His best time in the
100.
100, 10.67 is his PB. He ran
From
a
when?
40-yard dash in 4:48. The catch, my best times happened when I was 17. I'm turning 50 in December. My goal is to run at Masters Nationals in North Carolina 2023. I haven't sprinted since high school. Football was my main sport, but ran track until my sophomore year. What have I done since high school? College, he rode crew.
Yeah.
22 and on, so post college, he just lifted weights. 30s, he did triathlons and marathon. And then in his 40s, he did very little training. And Jason asks, where should I begin? So obviously, very talented, but it's been 10 years since he's done any sort of training.
Yeah, and it's been even longer since he did any speed work. like like
Yes.
quick twitch. I mean, he's gonna pull a muscle. I think he's worried about pulling, like, just getting hurt. That's like your number one goal. Don't get hurt. Because if he's gone 10
Yes.
years without doing very little, that's a long time. Yeah. So okay. So when is the competition that he's trying to train for?
So he's training for Masters Nationals in 2023. I mean, I'm guessing that's late summer.
So this is to me as like a year, like 6 months to a year.
Yeah, a year, I would guess. Look it
I
up.
mean, I would focus on.
Guessing outdoors because indoors is March 23rd to April 3rd. Wait, that's the World Championships. Never mind.
Anyway,
Oh, here we go. Hold
going
on, I
10
found
years
it.
without doing stuff, that's a long time. So I would have to like
July 20th to 23rd. July 20th to 23rd. Go ahead.
this. I mean, remember, this is internet coach. I am not licensed and I am not the smartest man in the world, but I'm going to do my best to help you out. So I would start with doing no zero like fast running for like 2 months. Just go out and just get in shape. Just go for runs, simple runs, as long or as short as you can handle, whatever, and get in shape for 2 months and start adding in like lifting. Just don't even think about what you're focusing on. Just think about just exercising for like 2 months. Get a baseline, just get back because 10 years is a long time to come back from. And then once you feel like you're again feeling good about yourself, you're able to just handle normal runs for 2 to 2.5 months, then I would start stepping on a track and getting my feet wet and just pushing myself to a place you hadn't been in 30 in 30 years. Again, it's kind of wild, but this is awesome. I appreciate the grind. Go for it. It inspires me. I should try to go out there and try to flirt with my 400-meter PBs 15 years later. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, once you do a few months of just regular exercise and just get your body adjusted to that,
Yeah,
um, I would say, just two
strides.
to two to
A
three
lot of
times a
strides.
week, do lots of strides. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not about trying to get into your perfect sprint form and all the mechanics behind it. It's really about just getting your body to remember how to handle fast twitch movement. And so you just kind of got to start doing lots and lots of strides and just focus on re rebuilding the muscle memory of what it's like to move that quick, and don't even think about
Well,
like
I don't know.
technique.
I don't know if you can I don't even know if you're gonna be able to remember it. That was a long time ago. I think you need to like relearn all of it. I think from scratch. The most important thing, though, you're right. It's not the technique. It's not getting back into shape. The most important thing here is winning. All right, that should be
That's a
your
good point.
ultimate goal. So you
Yes.
just need to you don't need to run 10.6 again. You just need
No.
to run 1/100th of a second faster than the next, guy. That's it. That's it. So I think you're right, Gordon. Do not get injured. Stay injury free. When in doubt, do less. I think the stuff he's done over the previous decade, like sprinkle a little bit of that in. That's the building block. He did triathlons, right? So got on
Yeah.
the bike, get on the bike. He did marathons. Don't go and do another marathon, but do a little bit of endurance training, weightlifting, incorporate a little bit of that. I think you're going to need to get stronger again. I think that's a big part of this. Again, don't overdo it, but in order to take a pounding of sprinting, like you're going to need to get stronger and then put the sprint stuff in later. But yeah, I'd like to see in 2, 3 months from now, because we're less than a year out. In 2, 3 months from now, just a consistent workout regimen, right? Where he's just getting back into fitness before he's thinking about sprinting. The idea of coming out of blocks at the age of 50 terrifies me on behalf of everybody who does it. And I know most people don't pop their Achilles coming out of the blocks, but it feels like you're going to um, when you're that age.
Maybe
Cole, do you have any?
he should
To be
probably wear some knee pads when he gets in the blocks, because those knees on that track might be a little painful on that hard track. So maybe the first few weeks when you're doing some block training, wear some knee pads, and then eventually you kind of
Yeah,
take them off, and you'll feel lighter when you take off the knee pads.
Just be careful you don't come
that's
out too
interesting.
quick. You don't want to get disqualified,
That
That's
too.
true. That's also well. We'll get to his starting technique when we get closer to the meet itself, because that's really where our expertise will shine. But yeah, I think here I'll just say it like this: um, do do some just light endurance work. So like either bike riding or a couple mile run 3 days a week. Build up to that, and then the other 2 days a week do some sort of resistance training, some sort of strength training, even if it's just push ups or steps. Do that for a couple months before you're even thinking about going to the well. This is an interesting case study about talent because clearly very talented individual to run that fast. So how does he tap into that? Is it possible to still tap into that? You know, can somebody who ran 10.6.7 when they were 17, like how do they measure up when they're 50 running against somebody who maybe didn't even run or would have run like 13 seconds when they were 17? Like how does that work?
I
But
mean,
I
I
think
think we
deep
should
down he's good.
tweet at Ross Tucker, right? Sports science guy, and he'll let us know because he knows.
Ask what's the well, I think I think at a certain point though, right, your talent, like you just if you get out of shape, like all the talent in the world doesn't help, right? Like that's just
Well,
like you could for running.
wait,
For basketball and football, right? You could still like I still got a jump shot, right? I could still go back on
yeah,
it. But like for like running and swimming and cycling, like in endurance stuff, if you're just like straight out of shape, um, all that talent's not gonna help. So I think let's just work on getting into just basic shape again. Having no injuries is gonna be key. Like if you get to the line healthy and just being in decent shape, I kind of like your chances. But then you got to wonder, remember when Johan Blake got hurt after he got hurt, and he said when he was coming back, he was just like nervous about getting hurt again, and it was just in the back of
yeah.
his head all the time. Yeah, you got to kind of figure out a way to run fearlessly again, and maybe Jason naturally runs fearlessly. Maybe that's just in his DNA. But like if I was 50 and I hadn't sprinted in a bunch of years, I would be worried that something would go wrong.
I would be very worried. I mean, I'm worried right now for myself, and I'm 34, so can't imagine adding another 16 years to it and being like, oh, oh. Watch out.
Yeah.
I will say this. One competitive advantage to kind of get into the heads of your competition, because you did say it's all about winning, is when you do get into the blocks, when the starter says take your marks or whatever and get in the blocks, take all the time in the world. Make all the other 50 to 60-year-olds start shaking because they're having to hold a position for so long, and you're still kind of like slapping your face and your arms and taking all the time you need to get into your resting position. So take your time. Be the last person to be completely set so that you don't have to have your body start shaking from standing in the same position. Is there like a rule on how long it should take for you to get set? Like, can an athlete just naturally not get set, just take way too long? Is there like a unwritten rule for
Well,
how
just
long
keep
it takes?
the unwritten rule. I mean, you can't take any longer than Usain Bolt. I think
Okay.
that's the rule. I remember this guy at Penn. How old was this guy? Was 70 plus? What did he run? That guy was flying in that 70 plus age group.
Did we have a video of that?
Remember the guy at Penn? I mean,
Oh my
he
goodness.
was just out of the blocks. Yeah. What?
I think
Listen.
another suggestion is get off of that guy's vibe. Get the sunglasses out, get the high socks. Dress to impress. Dress for the time you want, not the time, that's all about it. So,
Yeah.
And then we'll see Penn Relays. Should we give him a time
For
there
a,
for him
for
to
a,
run? And if he
for
breaks
a
that
tune-up.
time, we can invite him to Penn Relays to run in the Masters 100.
We don't
I
have
don't
any
think I'm
pull. We
I don't
can't
think I'm
invite
qualified
anybody.
to give out
No. Yeah. What are
the
you talking about? All
an
right.
entry lane, but it would be fun if we had a competition, a FloTrack podcast competition, where everyone who's 50 and up, and we set a time. It's like, if you break this time, you get a spot on the Penn Relays track. We should do that. That'll be fun. If he runs 10,
Yeah.
6, 7, if he ties his PB, he can come to Penn Relays. I'll personally pay and fly him out.
I think that would be remarkable if he did that. He's going to have more lucrative offers if he runs 10, 6, 7 at the age of 50. That'd be pretty astonishing. Well, thanks for writing in, Jason. Hopefully that was good advice to get you going. Keep us updated on what you're doing. But I think most important thing, you've done all the stuff in the past. Just tap into a little bit of all of it to get yourself going. And then this is a whole year journey. So you don't need to be cranking out, 40-meter accelerations right away. Just wait on that a little bit.
Yeah. Take your time.
All right, that's it for the pod.